Hey, fellas.
Hi, man.
You guys look
Hey.
rested. Yeah.
I'm feeling pretty good.
Have nice dreams last night?
I'm feeling a little sick.
Huh. Talking to Will mostly.
Sorry.
Yeah, he looks great.
Yeah.
Will, you must have had some nice dreams, huh?
I've had some really sweet dreams.
You remember them? You got a little logbook next to your bed there?
Yeah, I like to wake up and
Jot them down.
and I just sort of jot them down, and a lot of them, and then I wake up and it's usually like math equations.
Oh,
Yeah,
You figure a lot of stuff out while you're
yeah. I've just figured a lot of stuff out.
You're crunching numbers
Oh,
during
here,
it.
like this one. If I do, I wrote this one. Y, and you move the equals to the power. Basically, translation is "Welcome to SmartLess."
Oh, great.
Huh.
Look at this. Look at this guy.
Wait, which guy?
This guy.
Ricky's got the.
Is that Robbie?
It's Ricky.
Hey, Robbie.
Ricky. His name's Ricky.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Look
doing
at the
that to upset
size
you.
of this cone around his head.
That
I
looks like
know.
an expensive cone. Usually, you just see just a regular plastic one that's kind of cloudy, and you've got a fabric cone.
Look
for
at
your
him.
dog.
Look at the look on his face.
I know. He's got he had a cyst, like a big bump, like a big ball on his butt, oh, here we go.
Yeah,
Will,
I
big
think
ball on
I
his
can
butt.
hear Will's
No.
cogs turning,
nothing.
writing
No ball in the
something
butt. No.
hurtful.
No, why would I?
He had
So-
a big cyst on his like bottom, and they gouged it out, and so he has to wear this big cone.
Speaking of balls on your bum, Jay, how's your weekend been?
So they removed the balls from his bottom,
Yeah, like that. There was a big cyst on his tail.
Uh-huh.
And they gouged it out.
and he was still able to get around there and chew it, lick it, kind of
It was
agitate
crazy.
it.
Yeah, any chance he got, he would.
And so they
try-
put the cone on. How long's the cone been on the dog?
about a month. He's got another month to go.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, it was pretty intense.
I've never heard of a cone being on a dog longer than like a few days.
Look at this. Look at this tail. Oh, you can't see it.
I can see it. But
Yeah, they shaved it.
I think you might want to look into a different vet, someone that might charge you a little bit more, but
Do it right.
yeah,
Sean,
2 months with a
Sean,
cone.
maybe they can make a cone for you that stops you from eating Chinese food. You know what I mean?
What would that look like?
There's not a big enough one out there.
No.
No, he had a cone that was too small, so we had to sleep in shifts, Scotty and I, because he would until we found the right size. Because he's
Again.
like 100 pounds.
I think your vet is really causing you a lot more problems than
I know, but
than fixes.
But we started watching The Crown, so we'd watch an episode and then kind of like fall asleep, but we'd poke up and anyway, who cares?
Yeah, I don't.
About. You didn't even need to speak. We could just see it on your face. Don't worry.
So the Crown would be your visual ambient.
That was because like for like a month we had to like sleep in shifts, so we'd each catch like an episode and then catch the other person up on what that episode was.
Will, I sure hope your guest isn't somebody starring on The Crown.
This is my guess.
It's his guess.
Oh, it's your. Well, I hope your guest is clearly your guest is not a cast member from The Crown.
No, but I love The Crown. The Crown's really
Yeah.
good, isn't
Why
it?
do you
very
use
good.
it to fall asleep with then?
No, I don't use it to fall asleep. We would. That's what we do in the interim of swapping out.
That's what they
sleep.
do. That's what they do to stay awake.
Yeah,
Huh?
Yeah.
The Crown.
yeah, it was so good.
It's very
By the way,
good.
I'm so late to the party. Like I know it's like 10
I'm
seasons. in.
I'm even later.
It's
Oh, you
very,
would love
very
it.
I just saw the first 3 episodes of White Lotus finally.
Wasn't it good? Of the first
yeah,
season?
the first season, yeah. And
Oh, wow.
I get it. I'm
I've
into
never
it.
seen
I'm
it.
on it. Yeah.
No.
Come on in, Will. Water's great.
Yeah, it's really really
No,
good.
I'm such a contrarian, though, that I'm like, no. Everybody else has seen it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What'd you guys do on our little break in between shows?
I made
I wrote
some.
reviews for White Lotus online. I just went and wrote scathing reviews, even though I'd never seen it, and I love Mike White.
Yeah.
Love that, Mike.
Now,
White.
what'd you do, JB, on your little break ski?
I made some oatmeal for my colon, and my daughter asked me a bunch of questions about why I like it and I told her, and then she tasted it. She said, "Huh." I said, "Would you like me to make you a bowl?" She goes, "Yes, a small one, please." So I made her a bowl of oatmeal, and she walked me through all of her studies that she's going through for chemistry right now. She's got a chemistry final coming up, and I never took chemistry in school.
No way.
I don't know how or why, but that looks difficult.
Yeah.
Well, in their defense, in your school's defense, might be dangerous to do chemistry on that bus on Wilshire.
Bunsen burners and beakers.
You know what I mean?
I told you that story about my.
Yeah,
you sure did.
Yeah.
You don't remember anything, do you?
Nope.
No.
You went to school on a bus.
Well, just for 1 year. That was Heartlight.
But it was one continuous year. It never stopped moving, the bus. It was just one.
Well, no, those are just on the city days. The city days were on the bus, right? Where we go in, and for the listener that hasn't heard this before, we drive the base of the school was out at this dude's house in Calabasas, which is out
Sounds safe.
the deep West Valley. Not accredited, shocker. This school. We'd get on a converted full size large yellow school bus, where the back half of it was converted into desks. Front half was still.
Was your driver Charles Manson, or?
He did smell of weed and patchouli, but I didn't get his name. And then, so we would have these long drives into the city as we go to these cultural places like museums and whatnot. And the hippie that started the school thought it might be productive to do schoolwork in traffic while we're on our way to these museums. That's why he converted the bus. So while we're on the Ventura Freeway for an hour and a half, we do schoolwork. And then the country days, the odd days in the week, we'd be out at the house there in in Calabasas.
What if Will and I
teepee.
left our little... We were still telling the story.
Yeah. No, but there's
and then a country days. And then on the weekends, what did you guys do on the weekends?
Were country days at his house? Was it a lot of like raking his yard and like vacuuming his living room?
You're not far off. We would start each day in the teepee, and then we'd go into his house, and you could take history, math, or massage. That's a true story.
That's not true.
Jason,
this
swear
is
to God.
creepy.
It was there were 20 kids, all from like 4th grade to senior in high school.
Well, who wouldn't take the massage, by the way? I mean, like you get out of class.
The massage class was packed. Yeah.
Oh my
Wow, it's so creepy. All right. Well,
that's why I'm so smart, you guys. If you're ever wondering why.
I'm going to get right to our guest who's been so patiently waiting. She's a very special girl.
Really?
Yeah. Besides her incredible talent, this woman is often praised for her impeccable style and fashion. She'd said that probably from an early age when she'd borrow her mom's clothing once she saw her car pull out of the driveway in the morning. She'd borrow the clothes. Ditto. She's one of the co-founders of the Time's Up movement, which she helped kick off at the 2018 Golden Globes, the year after she won for Best Actress in Blackish. You guys, it's Tracee Ellis Ross.
Tracee Ellis Ross.
Look at her go.
Now, hello there. Now, listener, she's just wearing a simple blue sweatshirt, maybe, or sweater. Yeah. And so you're known for your styles, but yet you're keeping it very safe. I noticed that with hairdressers that are really good at hair, they have shaved heads.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. I will say, I used to work in fashion. Hi, all of you.
Hi.
We like to jump right in.
Hello. And I did notice back in the day that fashion editors would wear like sort of a blank canvas. Like they were all black.
Just a little uniform.
It was like, kind of like a uniform. And then,
something super safe.
Well, I feel like if you work in fashion, if you do fashion, if you love fashion, but no, I love the extravagance of it, the glamour.
Yeah. I think I said this before on the show, but not to you, Tracy. So, but you're so right, because I went to this years and years and years ago. I went to Milan to watch this Armani show, and afterwards there was like this party.
Must have been like going to space for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, I have to leave the house, and I went to then he had like this after party at his house, and I asked one of the guys who worked there, it was like a waiter or something. I'm like, can I go look at his closet, because I wanted to see.
It was all the same.
All the same outfit. All the same outfit.
Exactly the same. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
30 of the same outfit.
What was the outfit?
Black suit.
It was a navy T-shirt and jeans.
Oh,
interesting.
Really?
No,
just 1,000 pairs of jeans.
There's a lot of freedom in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a uniform.
Not for me.
Serial killers do that too, I think.
Yes, that's one of the telltale signs of a
I
serial
think
killer.
Jason's teacher wore that.
The difference with a serial killer, Will, is that they don't have multiple pairs; it's just one.
Yeah, just the one. You're right.
Nothing that shows blood too well either.
You're right.
But you just it's the same one.
But I was talking about the guy who's got you go to his closet and everything's the exact same, and then they do end up committing. I'm not suggesting Armani did, but if that person they said turns out they were a serial killer, we'd say, was there ever any inkling that he would? Yes.
Yeah. What was the first
always.
sign?
There was always an inkling.
Was-
Just
was
look
the
at
We
his
red
never
flag?
knew. We never knew.
Yeah, no, we always knew. We're just
Wait,
waiting.
Trace. So
Yeah.
first of all,
Hi, Sean.
hi. I love
Wait,
you.
now,
so
so
much.
do you guys know each other?
We ish, yeah.
Oh,
Get it?
look at
Black
the way
ish, no ish.
plugging the show already.
know each
shit.
other. Know each other ish should
No,
be
there's like a
spin-off.
connection. There's a spiritual connection. I
Yeah.
live for this girl. I love her. I think
How
she's
did you
amazing.
meet? How did you meet you two?
On the Jimmy Kimmel show, but I think we met before that too. When I
met
was a
before
guest
that.
host and I interviewed you on Jimmy Kimmel.
Yep.
All right, so listen. So you were born in L.A. Like by the way, like Jason was. And
I was born in L.A.
Yeah, so
I
like,
did
Now,
not
here's
go
where
to
the
school on a
difference-
bus. Did
here's
not
where
go
the
to school on a
differences
bus.
start. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was going to get into that. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You
There was no massage class.
no.
So I was born here,
Yeah.
1972. Actually went to the center way back then, Center for Early Education, before it was this thing that it is now. Lived here until my mom was going to New York to do the Wiz.
wow.
And then was in New York.
Let's make sure
from
listener knows who mommy was.
Barbara Streisand,
Wow. Interesting.
Diana Ross.
Right now, Sean's sister is like, fucking what?
Barbara Streisand. Barbara Streisand's daughter's
Di-
Tracee Ellis Ross.
My mom is Diana Ross. My dad is Bob Ellis Silverstein.
Yeah.
And was in New York, went to school there until 7th grade, then moved to Paris because my mom was supposed to do a movie there. She also met her husband, whatever. And lived in Paris and went to the American school in Paris for a little while, and then moved to Switzerland and went to Le Rosé.
Yeah.
And then moved
c'est
back
bon,
to
ça.
the States. Oui, je parle français.
oui, moi aussi.
And then you're Canadian, yeah?
Yeah, but I don't speak. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
You speak French? You speak fluent French?
Well, I don't know about that. But anyway, sorry, I interrupted you. By the way,
Enough to
it
talk
should be
to a
pointed
hockey
out
player.
that it should be pointed out that Tracy, when she goes, and then my mom had the and just whatever. Her whatevers are more interesting than the bulk of my story.
Yes,
Right.
So let me just. That's my kind of question.
Okay.
Is like because in Chicago, I didn't grow up around like in this town, which you're surrounded by fame and all that stuff. So I I didn't have a sense of other. Well, our senses of other is different, right? Which for opposite reasons. So what was that like as a kid, I wonder?
Well, it's all you know. So it's all I
Yeah.
knew. The nice thing was that when I went to school, first of all, my mom is a mom
Yeah,
before
for sure.
anything else. So I didn't have the sort of fantasy life of what people imagine it would be, or what you see in reality shows, for example.
Yeah.
That was not my childhood.
Right.
And yes, I had incredible opportunities. I went to school in Switzerland. I went to the best schools, and Marvin Gaye called our home, and Andy Warhol painted me, and blah, 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 all these things that are very extraordinary. I'm looking
that's
at,
great.
so those things are extraordinary. But because my mom was such a mom, Jason, your face right now is amazing.
I just think it's so great.
I know, it's
So
wild.
amazing. So because of all that, but there was a sense of normalcy to my life, and I didn't know there was something different. And then when I went to Dalton in New York,
Yeah.
the other kids that I was going to school with were Ralph Lauren's kids, Robert Redford's kids. So that was taken off the table for us.
Right.
So it wasn't a thing.
Right.
And only as I've gotten, as I became an adult and realized the magnitude of the fact that my mother's an international treasure, as they say. Just a goddess of
Well, I mean, you
things.
joke about it, but she's an
I'm not
icon.
joking.
No, I
Yes.
know,
No,
but
you're not. But
Yeah.
but you have to couch it in that.
But I
get
have
it.
to say, you've achieved the impossible, and you're an icon. Like to me,
Yeah.
you like the best example I can think of when you watch Janet Jackson. I don't think of Michael Jackson. When you watch Michael Jackson, I don't think of Janet Jackson. When you watch Diana Ross, I think of her. I think of Tracee Ellis Ross as two completely different people.
And you're surprised to know that, Diana Ross,
Yeah.
that's the Ross. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually
Yeah.
funny when people, I do look a lot like my mom, and then I also look a lot like my dad. But people are surprised, and it's fun because they're like, "You didn't tell me." I'm like, "Why was I supposed to tell you that? That would not be."
Yeah.
And we will be right back.
SmartLess is presented by NerdWallet. SmartLess listeners, you like to listen to us, even though you understand we are not smart. Talented, handsome, sure, but smart is not one of our strong suits. That's where our sponsor comes in, NerdWallet, where you can compare top financial products side by side and make smart financial decisions. NerdWallet has a whole team of nerds who help you make smart decisions on your next credit card, high-yield savings account, and more. And these aren't people who just say they're smart. They're like actual smart. They've got CFPs, MBAs, years of experience, and they're using their expertise to offer side-by-side comparisons and objective ratings on top of financial products for you. Are you spending more on gas or groceries lately? Of course you are. The world is terrible. Turn that negative into a positive and find a cash-back card that rewards you for what you spend most on. I'm with you, by the way. I spend the most probably on gas and groceries. I mean, a lot. I can't not have a cupboard not full of candy. So listeners, it's time to stop being smartless and time to get smart with the nerds at NerdWallet. Compare and find top cashback credit card, savings account, and more at nerdwallet.com. NerdWallet, the smartest decision for all your financial decisions. This episode of SmartLess is brought to you in part by Macy's. The big game's coming up, and Macy's has everything you need to take you all the way to the end zone. Do you guys get that? They've got all your football fan needs covered with team jerseys, serveware, plus food and snacks that'll keep you cheering. You know what I really love to refresh my serving platter sitch? I'm getting this thing called the Cellar. It's like a chip and dip thing. It's called the Cellar. And I'm getting that. I'm going to dip all my chips and dip in that. And then I'm also getting a new pair of tongs because doesn't everybody need a new pair of tongs because the little spring broke on our tongs, the little spring that in the middle. They should not have those anymore. And when Macy's sends it to me, I'm going to say, "Tong you very much, Macy's." Check it out now at Macy's.com. Again, that's Macy's.com. SmartLess is supported by State Farm. There are some great things about being an adult, right? Like you can have ice cream for dinner or the whole week if you really want to, like I do kind of sometimes, not really, but sure I do. 2 different colored socks, why? Go ahead. It's your life. But then there's the other side of it, like adulting and the actual responsibilities that come with it. Working, paying bills, buying a home, the big stuff. There's no instruction manual, you know what I mean, for any of it. So figuring it out on your own can get stressful. With State Farm, you can scratch insurance off that list. So when you ask yourself, what if my policy doesn't cover this? Or what if I have to make a claim in the middle of the night? Or even, what if I don't know what something in my policy means? Or like, is that gas? Or is my tummy just upset from all of the ice cream I ate? Well, State Farm is there for your what-ifs. You can file a claim on the State Farm mobile app, talk to a real person, including your agent, and you can call day or night about insurance coverage and policy questions. State Farm is available 24/7 because that's just what they do. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or go to statefarm.com for a quote today.
All right, back to the show.
Wait, so tell me about when you were a kid, because I heard the story once, but it was a while ago, that you grew up in a family of 5 kids or 5 people?
So we're 5. My mom has 5 kids, but we were 3 girls with my mom. And then 15 and 16 years later, my brothers were born.
And
so
tell me about getting the Wiggles out or something.
Oh, yeah. It's Rhonda, Tracy, Chudney, Ross, and Evan, just to get through the siblings. And my mom is one of 6. So it's a big family. Like even just the immediate family is like 22. Everybody, all my siblings have husbands or wives and multiple children. I'm the like lone single lady who, just gets to come and go.
Nice.
But
what do you think is wrong with you? Sorry. Jesus. Fuck. Sorry. Sometimes
there's a long list.
I'm so sorry that I just said it like that. I didn't.
Our drunk
what
co-host.
you meant was what I
meant was how's it going?
So far, so good. I mean, I just turned 50, and I think I just started working some of this shit out.
Oh, believe me, I'm 52, and I am not even close to halfway working it out.
At 12 years old, I said to my mom, I think I need a therapist.
Wow.
At 12.
Yeah. I wish I'd known there was such thing as therapy at that age.
I
I don't know how I knew.
That's
Well, you grew up in L.A., New York. I think that's kind of stuff. I didn't have sushi till I was 22.
yeah.
I love that that's the marker. I didn't know what I couldn't even think of a fish.
Yeah.
Nigiri.
Okay, wait. You
right?
asked
Wasn't it
nigiri. You asked about the Wiggles.
Wiggles,
this is
yeah,
actually a
because
good story.
I heard.
So I was a very hyper child and very silly, and I also really loved. It was my sister Rhonda is very cerebral, and I'm very physical, and so it was really frustrating for my sister, which I thought was very funny.
Yeah.
And so I was just very energetic, and I always, and so my grandmother said it was the 12-year-old giggles, the 8-year-old giggles, the 9-year-old giggles, it just kept going. It never stopped. And so my mother, in order to keep the peace at dinner, would say, would you like to go outside and get your wiggles out? And I would say, yes, I would. And so I would go outside the glass sliding door at the dinner table.
Like a dog has zoomies.
And I would bounce around out there, like trying to get my sister to laugh, like trying to do stuff. And then I would come back in, and it would make me even more hyper. And my mom would say, and are they out? And I would be like, I don't know. And then, nope, I think there's a few more. And I would go back out and do it again and come back.
like a doggy has zoomies.
God bless my siblings. It was actually funny. There was a period when one of my brothers was going through a phase, and I was like, Rhonda, I'm just so worried. And she goes, worried about what? I'm like, how he's going to turn out. She goes, what? I said, well, I mean, like with all this going on. And she goes, you figured it out, and you were 10 times worse. And
Right.
Really? She was like, yeah, nightmare. I was a nightmare.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Was there, do you remember the moment, if there was a moment where you wanted to pursue something in the public, and then you thought, well, am I going to be able to live up to what I always worry about that with children
Yes.
of
It's a whole thing.
Hey,
there's
you want to drop the hammer on her? Yeah, go ahead, Tracy.
well, no, but I mean, good for you.
He
that you
dropped
were
the
like,
hammer? Because what was yours?
Well, my question is, mine are lighter. Mine are more like growing up in L.A., did you ever, while you were driving, did you ever see like a school bus with kids giving each other massages go by?
that was me.
Wait, can I tell you?
like-
But I want to get to your question, but can I tell you, because I feel like I told you this, like waiting for our cars at an award show.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you again while other people can hear it, because it's so good. So silver spoons.
Yeah.
Yes, huge fan.
Okay, very
Cappella
big,
silver
very big during our age group.
Yeah.
And everybody loved Ricky. They loved Ricky Schroeder. I was like, no,
What's not
I'm
to
the
love?
Jason girl.
Yeah.
Sure.
You were the one that was teen beat, like that I would pull out and put on my wall.
Yeah.
And
You
then
had to flip through a few pages before you got to me.
I found it. And then now, for some reason, whenever I'm asked like childhood crush, I can never get it right. And I say Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
everybody
I
says that.
combine you with your sister.
Yeah. Because
Do
she
you ever
was
get
pretty.
that, Jay? Jay, you ever get that? You ever get that?
3 times
Do you
a
get
week.
that all the time? Really?
Oh, yeah.
At least.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought that was unique.
No, I get Justin all the
I will.
time.
I
my
will say
God.
he's really good about it. I've been with him many times with people, and they'll go like, "Isn't that right, Justin?" He'll go, "Yep." Yeah.
Oh my God, he doesn't even
No, he
flinch
doesn't
you
even.
anymore. It doesn't
It's
even.
exhausting.
But yes,
Yeah.
you were, all these other people were so dumb. I mean, look, oh, that wasn't nice.
I'd have those same Teen Beat magazines looking at Jason too. Yeah. It was great.
Yeah.
Does that make you
You were
feel
like
awkward?
a teen heartthrob.
Yeah,
Hey
for a
Sean,
second.
why don't you walk us through that?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable, Will.
Beautiful, Will.
Unbelievable.
I know. I'm sorry.
Wait,
I'm
so
terrible
back-
today.
I want to get back to your question though.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, so
Okay,
I mean,
go.
good for you that you didn't like let that be a barrier and like, no, screw it. I don't want to have it fail or not be able to live up to her.
Yeah.
And
That still haunts me.
There's a misconception that you could have been anything you wanted just because of where you came from, but that's not how it felt to you.
Well, a couple things. Like if you think back to when we were younger, are we all in the same age range?
Yes.
Sean, you're younger.
Yes.
I'm the youngest. No, I'm
Okay.
52.
Okay.
You are the youngest, actually.
Yeah, of us three.
Of the three of us. But Tracy,
Will, you
today,
play
you're
the youngest, don't you? What's the oldest
Thank
you
you.
can play, Will? What do you think the oldest
I
is
could
you can play?
stretch to 44, probably.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When you do that, I would say I would give it a 60.
Would my eyes get like this?
Yeah, Jesus. I love smoke in the room.
We call
I
that
don't know.
smoke in the room. Smoke
Really
in the
tightening
trees.
things up there. Yeah.
Is that like a guy thing?
We'd go
Guys
along
do?
red carpets and we'd see other actors doing. We'd be like, "Oh, look, it's real smoky over there." Some guy be getting his phone and be like
Squinted.
this.
Hey, what's going on?
I've had to learn how to not be an over peeker on the carpet.
Yeah, where you look
If
over
you
your
can
shoulder.
see your tonsils, it's like a problem. Like I'm like,
Oh,
not.
that.
I've
big
had to
open
like,
mouth?
yeah, like turn it down to a 2. Like I'm on like 11 on a carpet.
I know, me too.
You know, when I was growing up and when we were younger, being a child of was not what it is now. And a lot of people would change their parents' last name. And I think from a really young age, I was very aware of the fact that people were paying attention to me because I was an extension of someone they loved, as opposed to because of me. And because of that, I felt very compelled to figure out who I was, what I wanted, who I wanted to be. And that was my driving force. It was challenging, you know, I mean, like not challenging, that's the wrong word, but I used to have the metaphor that people would unlock the door and then sit on the other side, like, how's she going to walk through? As opposed to being excited or like, oh, this is so intriguing. But no, I mean, like everybody in this business, and especially at that time, I really had to like fight my way through and make a lot of failures. And
Yeah, you turned it into a positive, it sounds like, where you knew that the bar was going to be higher, there was going to be more scrutiny, and so you really
it's arguably harder to do because you have so many more preconceived notions of coming into the room as opposed to some other performer who comes in and there's
nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Blank slate, yeah. You know, I think the singing, like I actually wanted to be a singer. That was what I wanted to do.
But guess what? Love Myself. I love
did
that
it.
song. You did it. You're a singer.
So at 40 something, how old was I? I don't know. I did a movie where I sang. And let me tell you that like the internal journey on that was real challenging.
I'm
like
sure.
facing that monster for myself. And I remember seeing, God bless her, Lisa Marie Presley, when she had come out with her first album and they obliterated her.
Oh, really?
They obliterated her. And I was like 16 years old at the time, I think. And I was like, oh, that's not a good choice. Like, that's a hard path.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, I did the high note and I recorded songs and I made it through that terrible
Fucking great.
sort of internal monster of I'm never going to be my mom. And I realized I'm never going to be my mom. I'm never supposed to be my mom.
You're never supposed to be your mom. And you killed it. And you killed it. It's so good. I love that
I always
song.
used to say to myself, yeah, I mean, you're a failure. Like, you will never actually enter the Super Bowl in a halftime show in a helicopter. Like, babe, it's all going to be garbage.
But you don't need to. Yeah, you don't need to.
Nobody's going to care.
But wait, what about, but didn't you have an embarrassing moment in high school or something where you sang? And
Yeah. I sang an a cappella song and I started on the wrong key and my voice cracked and I panicked and like froze. And then I tried again and messed it up again. And the entire audience started going, you can do it. You can do it. And my best friend at the time like came on stage and hugged me and I did it again. And then I was like, that's it. We're good. We've handled that little singing desire.
I had, I think I talked about it before. It's the same kind of thing when I was doing a show called, guys?
Promises.
Promises, yeah.
Promises on Broadway,
Incredible.
where I had,
Did you
it was
see
like
it, Tracy?
the pressure.
I didn't.
Oh, what was your
didn't see.
favorite
It
scene?
was incredible.
It was the pressure.
Will, you're asleep on the mic. Will, you're asleep.
Good night, Oscar. What was my cue? Shit, I'm sorry.
Opens April 24th.
Which theater?
Alaska.
Alaska. Oh my God, I didn't even remember.
I know more than you.
But anyway,
This
so
is the
I
most
was saying
advertised show of
the
all time.
the pressure of singing in front of all these people a solo song is a lot. Like when everybody's looking at you to sing great, and then you have like the X Factor and American Idol and The Voice and all these singing competition shows where people judge you for singing. And so all that pressure was, and it made me not be able to sing. And I was like, I got to quit. I got to get fired. Please fire me. I can't do this anymore. And then I went to therapy and I got over it and then I sang fine. But I know what you mean about like cracking or anything. It really is like traumatizing.
There's nowhere to hide.
Yeah, there's nowhere to hide.
There's nowhere to hide. I will tell you now, like, there's nothing I like better. During the filming of that movie, I was like, get me on a stage with a mic and just an audience. Just fucking, just get out there and listen. Just listen to me. And if I'm not singing, I'm going to be talking. Listen, let me change my clothes so you can see another outfit. Look up. Listen, sit there. Don't go to the bathroom. I got more. It's like, there's
I love
nothing.
this character. I love this
This
character.
is nothing. I'm like, hold on a second. I got more to say. Nope, I didn't ask you a question. I'm answering it myself. Thank you so much. Like, I just want to like get in there and just keep going.
Hysterical.
Remember Star Search? Are we all old enough to remember Star
Yes.
Search? That
Do
was
you
the
remember
first
Sam Smith?
one, wasn't it?
Sam Smith, yes.
Sam
He's
Smith.
amazing.
Was
He
on
was
Star
the-
Search?
Do you remember he was the one? Not Sam Smith. What
Not
was
Sam
his name?
Smith, Sam,
Oh God, he sang the Star Spangled Banner or
Over the
something.
Rainbow. And Sam
Remember?
Harris. Sam
Harris.
Yeah, he's amazing.
You do remember him. If I showed you him right now, and he was like,
Yeah.
whoa,
Oh,
he
God.
really went
He's
in there.
amazing. He was amazing.
And this was Ed McMahon was the host, right? All by himself. He didn't have a co-host with him, did he?
No. I remember that.
Star Search. That was like the first American Idol or something.
Rosie O'Donnell was on
Yeah,
Star
I was going to
Search.
say it launched a bunch of people, I think.
Yeah, remember that?
I should bring that back.
Anyway.
If you're at home, just Google it right now. Go ahead, and we'll take a second and take a look, and you can see catch up on what we're talking about.
There you see Ed. You know, I was just talking about the other day. We are also the generation that remembers Ovaltine, Tang.
Yes.
Tang.
I'm trying to think of some of the other things I was trying
College,
to think of.
all
them the
I
other day.
drank was Tang. 'Cause
Tang.
It was just, you needed
Same
water.
here
and
at college,
water.
dude. I was just knee deep in Tang.
Crushing
The
it, Rob.
drink. What is your problem, dude? I can have a conversation without being, you know what? You don't need to
Okay.
say poo. You don't need to say the other part.
No, because I just got it. All right, so listen.
Oh man.
So wait, Tracy.
sorry, Tracy.
First of all, that's my sister's
Don't
name,
be.
and I love her and I love you. All right, so
Your
listen.
sister Tracy, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the podcast. So listen, I heard you on So I heard you on Glenn and
I listen
Doyle's.
to the podcast. I just ignore when
No,
I'm
I
like,
get
don't
it.
know
Believe
what
me. Believe me, I get it. I heard you on Glenn and Doyle's podcast, and you were fantastic. And
Thank you. I love
wished
them.
I get it because you always talk about, we talk about this too, about like how you love being home, and you know, you wished you wanted to go out more when people invited you to cool places, but you don't often like to go
It's
out.
like the weird tangle between wanting to be invited and also like not.
Right.
Yeah.
But I love this quote of yours, which is so great. You said, I'm an introvert who plays an extrovert in life.
Yeah.
I think that's true. Yeah.
I think that's a lot of people.
I'm the same.
Yeah.
I would love to not go out every time it's time to go out.
You don't play an extrovert.
I don't even try.
You don't
huh?
do anything. You're an introvert who acts like
Yeah.
an introvert. Yeah.
Well, I mean, because I got Amanda right there, who's just like the greatest extrovert. So I can just lay back, let her do all the talking and socializing.
You got a
and get all
built-in
the-
bad guy is what you got. Don't worry,
Yeah.
I know this.
Yeah,
Travel
you
with your
know?
bad cop.
A little bit.
Tracy, how are you single?
I don't know.
I mean, it's kind of
Sorry.
I
amazing.
mean,
I'll
let's.
help-
You know what?
let
I'll
me
tell you.
massage your
Let's get
neck on
back.
that.
No,
Yeah.
let's get back to Will's question because I'm broken.
Wow.
What?
No,
How did you
I
break
think you're
yourself,
such a-
Tracy?
No.
What guy wouldn't go nuts
Well, you know
for
what
you?
my
I
theory
think-
is, Sean. I feel like I'm a unicorn, and so it's hard to find another one.
Yeah, I get
But
it.
Right.
it's not to say that I have had a boring life.
You know what? The one thing that's true about all unicorns,
What?
they're really horny. Hey, guys, you know, guys,
I can't believe we're laughing.
I know, me neither.
snorted. That is
It's the stupidest. It's the stupidest.
worst joke.
It's one of the worst jokes. By the way, also,
No, they're
all
not
unicorns,
good.
there's
None of
only-
them are good.
There's only one
It made
unicorn.
me
That's the
sweat.
whole purpose of a unicorn. There's
No, there's a village of unicorns, Will.
only, what?
We'll be right back. SmartLess is supported by FanDuel. This year, the only app you need at your Super Bowl party is FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Download FanDuel now so you can bet Super Bowl 57 with a no-sweat first bet. You'll get up to $3,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. FanDuel lets you bet on everything from the money line to point spreads to who will score a touchdown. You know, my cell phone's in my pocket. I'm just like a regular civilian, but when I pull it out, I got a little lady luck on my side. With FanDuel, I want to do like a FanDuel thing of my own because like Jason and Will have said like a million times they're coming to opening night for my show on Broadway. And I'm like, do I believe him? Do I not believe him? I'd love to bet on that. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? The FanDuel Sportsbook app is safe, secure, and super easy to use. Best of all, you can get paid your winnings instantly. So join FanDuel today with promo code SmartLess to claim your no-sweat first bet on Super Bowl 57. That's promo code SmartLess. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus exclusions apply. See show notes for full disclaimer. SmartLess gets support from Visit Williamsburg. In Williamsburg, Virginia, there's never too much of a good thing because there's too many things to see, do, taste, and experience. Whether you're a foodie, a golfer, a history buff, a shopaholic, an outdoor enthusiast, or a thrill seeker, you'll find what you came for. Come to Williamsburg to live life at your pace. From roller coasters to water parks, hiking, and kayaking, Williamsburg is great for adventures of all kinds. And with over a dozen 4+ star courses, it's become one of the East's premier golf destinations. Southern Comfort is just a taste of what their emerging food and beverage scene has to offer. From contemporary cuisine to the classics, fine dining to food on the go, and local craft breweries to a stunning winery, Williamsburg will satiate any appetite. Explore the grounds of America's first English settlement in Jamestown, or shop along the quaint streets of historic Williamsburg and Yorktown. Dig into the forensics of our country's earliest settlers, or experience a day in the life of one. This just isn't a place to learn about our shared history, it's a place to live it. Williamsburg is the type of destination that you can come back to again and again and have a completely different experience. Go to visitwilliamsburg.com to start planning your trip today.
And now back to the show.
Let's talk. How about this for a segue? I want to talk about your career and how great you are and how amazing Blackish was, and that it's off the air now. And do you wish it was still on the air? Did it end at the right time? Did you, and by the way, I remember hearing some story about how you used to make yourself cry as a kid and something like that.
I did.
To become a better actress or something like that.
Well, yeah, my favorite thing to do is I would get upset about something and cry, and then I would just lay down and I would notice the tears were just puddling on the floor, and then I would move myself as quickly as I could towards a mirror to just see what it looked like. And then, I could look at it. Is that good? I don't know. Just sort of really trying to just see what it looked like.
Do you have a cry trick? Do you have a certain thing that you think
so
about that
funny.
can
I
bring
just
the
think
tears?
of the most awful thing that, my worst nightmare of what could happen. Somebody being gone. Yeah.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
It's terrible.
It's so bad to do to yourself.
It's so bad for your soul.
Yeah.
It is just terrible. I remember on Blackish, we had a scene where that's that season when Dre and I were getting a divorce, and then it all ends with Beau's father dying. And I have to say Beau's father dying because we did this scene. I was supposed to be a mess, crying hysterically. And then we're on a comedy. So then they were like, all right, let's get to the next scene. And I was like, I'm still, my dad died.
Be sensitive.
I'm still, the wound is still open inside my soul. And
I haven't stopped rolling yet.
I'm still bleeding inside. Just give me a second. But it's impossible. How do you,
I'm still rolling.
No one said cut in there, okay?
You're still crying on the way home.
Yeah.
Still no one said cut. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
ridiculous. What did you ask? You asked if, I think, I did 8 years on Girlfriends and 8 years on Blackish.
I know.
Wow.
What a
16
career.
years of
I mean,
my
that's
life.
crazy. 2 big
It's
shows.
crazy. And I think it was perfect timing for it to be done. The beauty of Blackish ending was we knew it was ending. So I was able to walk into the last season, so present to sort of all of it.
That's
and
great.
to actually get the ritual of saying goodbye and having it be over. Whereas on Girlfriends, we didn't know. We ended the last episode that we shot of Girlfriends, I directed, and it was during the writer's strike. So we had no writers on set, and then we just disappeared. There was no rap party. There was no nothing after 8 years.
Yeah.
So this was really special to be able to sort of finish this way and to
That's
be,
like whenever I have a gathering at my house, people just leave and
they do, and you don't even know.
go, wait, where did everybody go?
They were like, we didn't
You
like
just hear
it.
the door
We're
slam.
just-
It's like Dad screeching tires.
That's my dad leaving. Wait, we didn't have a rap party, Dad.
But wait, Tracy, that's 16 years.
I know.
That's crazy, right?
Of
That is
sitcom
amazing.
television, of episodic
Yeah.
television. I mean, that's so long. That's an incredible run.
I
and
know.
lucrative.
And do you,
And
what?
very, and very
I,
lucrative.
hold on. I'm a Black actress.
Okay.
Now, please continue.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I've done well, but let's compare.
Yeah,
Go
for
ahead.
sure, for sure.
Let's compare. Fucking.
Now, is it true that when Mom used to drive out of that driveway and she was away, you try on her dresses and her outfits, and that's where fashion
Not
comes
try.
from? Because I do.
I tried. Put it on.
You put it on.
No,
Yeah,
I would
you tried
take it. No, it was even
Take
worse.
it.
I would literally, she would be pulling out of the driveway. I would go look. Okay, she's pulling out. Great. And I would go into her bathroom, into the closet, and I would start taking everything I wanted, throwing it over my arm to move it into my closet for the time she was gone. So it's like I would open my closet as if these things were mine. And one time she came back, she had forgotten something. She was like, what are you doing? I was like, I am going to surprise you by organizing your closet.
No way. No way. Did you
She was
really?
like, that's amazing. I was like, I know, but go. I didn't get out of here. What'd you forget? Let me get it for you. Stop it.
That's hysterical. Wait, so and is that where is your mom the inspiration for loving fashion, or?
I don't know.
Because I follow you like a crazy person on Instagram, and all of your like gorgeous, you always look so gorgeous in
Thank you.
all
I
of the
love
stuff
clothes.
you wear.
I will always shop, and there will always be dirty dishes in my sink. Combination of both. Two things that are just true about me.
Yeah.
But I stack the dishes nicely because I'm extremely organized. Fashion was an armor for me.
Yeah.
And looking back, I've actually realized it was one of the ways that I sort of protected myself from the world and fought microaggressions and racism. In the world that I lived in, I would navigate myself and my external appearance in a way that gave somebody an impression, that and my articulateness, and I would sort of dive in a way that like, you cannot belittle me.
I love that.
Not only my
Interesting.
clothes telling you that, but and also around men and whatever. Like I just was able to sort of clothe myself in a way that told the world what I wanted them to know about me. And now it's a creative expression.
Yeah,
What age do you think? That's such an interesting. What age do you think that you started? A, doing that, especially sort of against the microaggressions, and B, did you become actually cognizant of the fact that that's what you were doing?
I wasn't cognizant of that until now.
Oh, wow.
Because I started to think back. I can't remember who I was talking to. And I was like, wait a minute, that was fascinating. Because as I said, I've always loved clothes. And so I was always a shopper. But a lot of it was, there's a way you're not going to talk to me because I'm presenting myself in a particular manner. And I think that is a part of it. You know, as Black people in this country, there is an idea of who we are, Black and brown people. And so there's an external presentation that is expected that goes into respectability politics and all of these different things. There's a way to sort of play into that. And I used clothing as one of those weapons for myself. I don't think I realized it, but it was from young because I also am a person who was very independent from a young age. And I always looked older than I was. I had to prove to people that I was younger, and didn't have an ID or something. And some of it was my sort of stature. And I've always been I've always looked older for my age and sort of very articulate and clear in my communication. And so I don't know. But now it's just a way I spend my money.
If this character doesn't hit the road, I'm going to fucking snap.
There's a couple of characters, they're behind me, you can't see them, but there's Madame Hiver, who's the alcoholic acting coach.
Related
And
to
then there's-
Bone at all?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Bon Iver.
No.
Hey, how dare you, fuckers?
She's you're a dear, sweetheart. You're such a dear. I love the way you smile. It's wonderful. Yes. Madame Hiver, and she's all eyebrows. There's a picture of her behind me. Apparently, I've done this my whole life. And my mom, one day, I was on the phone with my mom. She started talking in this weird voice. I was like, Mom, what are you doing? She was like, I'm just doing what you're doing. And I was like, I don't know what you're doing. So I'm not sure. She's like, you always do this when you're telling stories. You just go into different voices. And I was like, do I? And so I apparently do this all the time.
I love it.
I don't know.
Let me ask you something about fashion. How do you know what is happening right now? Like, is there an agreed upon magazine that like, oh, if you see pictures of, let's say, like, how would you know that overalls are back? Is like if it's in Vogue or if it's at the store?
Asking for a friend.
Here's the thing, though. So there's a difference between style and fashion, in my opinion.
Thank you. Amen.
It's like a difference between spirituality and religion. Style is how you do things. It's sort of and fashion is the sort of what everybody is saying is in or out. Oh my God, Will, what are you about to say?
Sorry, I'm just agreeing with you, and I'm listening to you tell these two heathens. Keep going, Tracy. We're on the same page. Go ahead.
And so, for me, I really don't follow what's in and out. There are things that will tell you what the trends are, and you'll start to see. But it's just like with anything. There's a zeitgeist, and like certain things come in at the same time, and then there's an Anna Wintour, whomever, Edward Annafel, who will tell you like this year the trend is overalls, pink lips, and black nails. You know what I mean? But for me, I think that I should wear my clothes and they shouldn't wear me. So I follow what makes my heart sing. And the truth is, I've been the things that I wear have been my body's been the same. The shape of my body's been the same, slightly changed, but I still wear the same shapes, high-waisted pants, wide-leg trouser. I do love an overall. I love a big chunky shoe, always have. You know, it's like those things are the same for me.
But girls have so much more options. And the guys, it's like a suit.
Not anymore. Not anymore. You can wear whatever you want.
But like I always feel guilty
Like Will.
when Amanda is like, you know.
Sorry, I just heard my name. I was asleep for a second.
I think guys have it so easy. Like you go to some like black tie event. Well, it's just a tuxedo. Great, I'm done in 10 minutes.
But have you guys looked though? If you like notice now, like men are leaning into all these different spaces and wear skirts. And I mean, didn't Brad Pitt just wear a skirt for his press junket or something? You can wear whatever you want. Jason, I would love to see you in a skirt or some sparkles.
Sure.
Wait,
Sparkles.
didn't you run into Brad at the Oscars or something? And you were like totally starstruck.
I ran into Brad. Brad did not see me, but I saw him. I saw him. And we made eye contact.
Oh, that's it.
He is
That was
handsome.
That's it. I love that.
That is a good looking dude.
Oh,
I'll say.
It's like weird. Who's the other one? There was someone else recently, and I was just like, what is wrong with that face? Why does it look like that? It's so pretty.
Yeah.
Who
Well,
was
it obviously wasn't any one of us.
Keanu Reeves?
So,
you know what?
yeah, no, it's okay. We'll just.
What was that, Sean? Hold on a second. Did you say
said
Keanu Reeves?
Keanu Reeves.
I do.
But is
Well,
that
you
pretty
know-
high on your list, Sean?
Keanu, no, she's not. I think I love Keanu. I'm a huge fan. He's a good-looking guy. He's not my type.
Yeah.
No.
I mostly have dated black men. But as a youngin, it went like this: Jason.
Yep.
Yep.
Then I think it was
Sean.
Keanu.
Okay.
Yep.
Really?
And I've never been like a Brad Pitt fan. Like he was not like a crush from movies. But when you see him in person, it's like weird.
Startling.
Like
Yeah.
you're just
Startling.
like, my God, what is happening with that face?
Yeah, he's got tons of riz.
It's really extraordinary.
What's Riz?
Riz.
Is that what the
I'm
kids
not
are saying?
explaining it to you guys. You guys don't.
You
know.
have to because I'm a guest and I don't know.
Riz is like what all the kids, like my kids say, they all talk about. They'll talk about like a guy who's got like game or like I think it's short for
charisma.
charisma, but they always say
Riz.
Riz. Yeah, they're
That's
like,
amazing. I'm totally stealing that.
Yeah, Riz.
No
He's
wonder
got a lot of
so.
my
Riz.
kids hate it because I use it all the time, and they're really embarrassed by the way that I use it. I'm like,
Why don't you switch it to Ma?
Yeah.
This guy's got a lot of Ma,
I actually kind of like that too.
you know?
But the charisma, the thing is, as you you realize like that has nothing to do with sex appeal. Like the physical, this is not.
Right,
That's
right,
not
it's all-
gonna-
no, wait. So
That's not
sorry.
gonna-
So keep going. So you went. It was Jason, then Keanu, then it was never really Brad. Although we all agree that Brad Pitt is incredible.
Like
and also very
objectively, it's
charismatic.
like
Yeah,
objectively, that's just like a
incredibly
okay.
handsome and
Nobody's
sweet.
going to dispute that.
Yeah, and a great guy. Keep going.
Now, you talk about Riz. You got a lot of Riz. And I didn't know, Tracy. And I didn't know. I was like, why doesn't she have her own podcast? And now you do. And it's called I Am America.
It is very different from a Riz podcast, though.
Wait,
Like
Wait,
not-
what? Tell me, when did it start and how is it? How,
It's not.
you
It's
love
not a
doing-
podcast.
don't. It's not a thing. You
We're
guys.
gonna make it a
Yeah,
thing.
just pick a different syllable,
now I'm
bro.
embarrassed in the way that
Yeah.
my kids are. God.
I can't wait to see those
Jason's
boys
about to
again.
dab. Jason's about to dab for fuck's sake.
Yeah, like it, mama.
He doesn't even know.
Oh,
Oh.
Did I do it right?
No, you
No?
did not. I don't even know. That looked like something from cheer camp.
Hi. Ready? Okay.
And go.
Our team.
Yes,
is
I
rad,
have
huh?
a podcast that is January 31st that I'm very excited about. It's called I Am America. And we meet people who are redefining their own identity and the idea of community and what I think is the possibility of our country. And the thing that's so exciting to me is it's a version of, it's the best of our country and a version that I just don't hear enough of
love that,
around
yeah.
people that are looking to belong and end up creating a sense of belonging for so many others. And so they tell their own stories. It's some people you might know, some you don't know at all. Deanna Van Buren, who is one of very few Black female architects. A man by the name of Tony Hillary, who started Harlem Grown in New York, and his beautiful story and realizing that, that it takes a lot to grow children, and it's not what you expect. Kier Gaines, who's a therapist, a Black male therapist, and really works with people. And so I then sort of create context. And so much of what happens for the Black and brown stories in this country is they're decontextualized, and we don't get to really hear the context and the fertility, the sort of depth of their stories. And so I do the intro and the outro, and I sort of frame and give context to their stories.
Oh, cool.
And I'm just very excited about it. Every time I listen and in the editing process, I moved to tears at how beautiful these stories and these people are. So it's been really fun for me.
I love that. That's great. I can't wait to hear that.
Yeah, it's fun.
You say we, is it you by yourself or just you and your team of people?
Me and my team. We've put together a really beautiful team that honestly is just as beautiful of a tapestry as the people we're interviewing. Just amazing people doing our sound design and our producer, Nicole Hill. It's really been a really fulfilling process for me.
That's great.
So great. I love it. I can't wait to hear it. Well, we've taken up too much of your time. I love people with 2 names. I love people with 3 names even more. Tracee Ellis Ross, you're amazing. Thank you for being here.
This has been so much fun.
Yeah,
I am a huge fan.
You know how much
of
I
all
love you
yours.
so much.
God, you're so funny. You're so hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You are. You are.
You are.
very
It's so great to
kind.
meet you and to talk to you. And you got a ton of riz.
Yes.
I'm just going to leave you with that last little bit of ma.
Thank you. I know you're busy with all the
you so
stuff, the
much.
products you got going on and the lines.
Oh yeah,
and the
pattern
things.
beauty. It's been really fun. It's a really fun thing getting to this point in one's career where you actually can start creating things and not just waiting
your
for
own
the
boss.
next job. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really exciting.
Yeah.
Not everybody gets to get here, so it's fun.
Yeah. Well, you worked your buns off, so kudos to you. I think it's
Congratulations.
incredible.
No, I still have really, really nice buns. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sweet buns,
Wow,
hot
good
buns,
for you. Yeah.
Sweet buns. Yeah,
Hot
sweet
buns.
buns.
sticky buns.
Okay, amazing.
All right, honey.
Bye.
Thanks,
Thank you
Tracy.
so much.
Hope
what
to
a
see
pleasure.
you soon. Bye, sweetie.
Mwah.
How great is she? Jason, have you ever met her?
I have. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Super duper nice. Tracee Ellis
Will, what about
Ross.
you? Had you met her before?
I've never met her before.
Isn't she unbelievably funny?
She's so cool.
She
and
truly does
funny
have
and-
charisma.
Oh my God. I mean,
Yeah.
off the charts.
I think she could talk about I know Dana Carvey was on a recent show. It's like she could do be a super huge sketch comedy person.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she is not slow.
Yeah, she's so fucking witty and
She's so witty and so funny and
the energy. And you know what? Like a lot of people, there's this equation I think that suits certain names and celebrities or whatever. If your name equals joy, I think you got something. And I think her name, Tracy, I think she just equals joy. I think she's so joyful and.
You say
that's why I'm
when you
drawn to
hear her name, you think joy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Don't you?
What do you think people think of when they hear your name?
My name I gotta take a potty break or something.
Yeah. Oh, Sean Hayes. I got a shit.
No,
Yeah.
people.
They get, like,
it's also a
big
good.
knots in the
No.
stomach.
It's a good feeling. Also, Sean is another person just like Tracee Ellis Ross. Who you're like, that person brings good positive energy and I think laughter and it's fun and good. Seriously, they do. That's how I feel when I think of you.
Oh, well, that's very nice.
Yeah.
There's no
Jason.
butt coming here, huh?
I know. I thought I
no,
was
no,
waiting for
no,
a big butt.
no.
Huh.
But we didn't get a chance to talk about. That's very
There we
sweet,
go.
Will. I love you guys very much.
I love you very much.
But we didn't get a chance to talk about all of her,
Comes a bye. Here comes
pro-
a bye.
products and all the products of the products, which are called.
are you talking about the Bye
Bye.
product?
Bye.
You always have to make it sound like someone's getting stuck in a vice.
I do or will.
Bye. Hey, bye.
Bye.
Smart. Less. Smart. Less.
SmartLess is 100% organic and artisanally handcrafted by Michael Grant Terry, Rob Armjarv, and Bennett Barbaco.
Smart. Less.
Our next episode will be out in a week wherever you listen to podcasts, or you can listen to it right now early on Amazon Music, or early and ad-free by subscribing to Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts or the Wondery app.